The seventh wonder of the world, Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat, in its beauty and state of preservation, is unrivaled. Its mightiness and magnificence bespeak a pomp and a luxury surpassing that of a pharaoh or Shah Jahan, an impressiveness greater than that of the pyramids, an artistic distinctiveness as far as that of the Taj Mahal. Angkor Wat is located about 6 kilometers 4 miles north of Siem Reap, south of Angkor Thom. Entry and access to the Angkor Wat can only be accessed from its west gate. Angkor Wat was built in the first half of the 12th century. Estimated construction time of the temple is 30 years by King Suryavarman II, dedicated to Vishnu, Hindu, replica of Angkor Thom style of art. Angkor Wat, the largest monument of the Angkor route and the best preserved, is an architectural masterpiece. Its perfection in composition, balance, proportions, reliefs, and sculpture make it one of the finest monuments in the world. Wat is the command name for temple. The French spelling is Wat, which was probably added to Angkor when it became a Theravada Buddhist monument, most likely in the 16th century. After year 1432, when the capital moved to Phnom Penh, Angkor Wat was cared for by Buddhist monks. It is generally accepted that the Angkor Wat was a funerary temple for King Suryavarman II and oriented to the west to conform to the symbolism between the setting sun and death. The bas-reliefs designed for viewing from left to right in the order of Hindu funeral ritual support this function. The plan of Angkor Wat is difficult to grasp when walking through the monument because of the vastness. Its complexity and beauty both attract and distract one's attention. From a distance, Angkor Wat appears to be a colossal mass of the stone, or one level with a long causeway leading to the center. But close up, it is a series of elevated towers, covered galleries, chambers, porches, and courtyards on different levels, linked by stairways. The height of Angkor Wat from the ground to the top of the central tower is greater than it might appear, 213 meters, around 699 feet, achieved with 3 rectangular or square levels, 1 to 3. Each one is progressively smaller and higher than the one below, starting from the outer limits of the temple. Covered galleries with columns define the boundaries of the first and the second levels. The third level supports 5 towers, 4 in the corners and 1 in the middle. And this is the most prominent architectural feature of Angkor Wat. This arrangement is sometimes called a quincunx. Graduated tiers, one rising above the other, give the towers a colonial, conical shape and, near the top, rows of lotuses tapered to the pole. The overall profile imitates a lotus bud. Several architectural lines stand out in the profile of the monument. The eye is drawn left and right to the horizontal aspect of the levels and upward to the soaring height of the towers. The ingenious plan of the Angkor Wat only allows a view of all 5 towers from certain angles. They are not visible, for example from the entrance. Many of the structures and courtyards are in the shape of the course. The visitor should study the plan on page 36 and become familiar with this dominant layout. A curved sloping roof on galleries, chambers, and isles is a hallmark of Angkor Wat. From a distance, it looks like a series of long narrow ridges, but close-up room identifies itself. It is a roof made of gracefully arched stone rectangles placed in 2 ends. Its row of tiles is carved with an in tile at triangles the ridge of the roof. This scheme culminates in decorated timpaniums with elaborate frames that provide access to the various levels. Helen Kandi, who visited Angkor in the year 1920s, told their usefulness surpasses their architectural purpose. The steps to the Angkor Wat are made to force a hard and beauteous obstruction that might be prepared for the atmosphere of the sanctity. She brought in others to become familiar with the composition of the Angkor Wat. The visitor should learn to recognize the repetitive elements in the architecture. Galleries with columns, towers, curved roofs, timpanium step, and the course shape plan occur again and again. It was by combining 2 or more of these aspects that a sense of height was achieved. This arrangement was used to link one part of the monument to another. Roofs were frequently layered to add height, length, and dimension. A smaller replica of the central towers was repeated at the limits of 2 prominent areas, the galleries and the entry pavilions. The long causeway at the entrance reappears on the other side of the entry pavilion. Angkor Wat is a miniature replica of the universe in stone and represents an earthly model of the cosmic world. The central tower rises from the center of the monument, symbolizing the mythical mountain Meru, situated at the center of the universe. Its 5 towers correspond to the peaks of Meru. The outer wall corresponds to the mountains at the edge of the world, and the surrounding walls the oceans beyond. Even though Angkor Wat is the most photographed Khmer monument, nothing approaches the actual experience of seeing this temple. Friend Vincent grasped this sensation over 100 years ago. The general appearance of the water of the temple is beautiful and romantic, as well as impressive and grand. It must be seen to be understood and appreciated. One can never look upon the ensembles of the Wat without a thrill, a pause, a feeling of being caught up onto the heavens. Perhaps it is the most impressive sight in the world of edifices. Angkor Wat occupies a rectangular area about 208 hectares, around 500 acres, divided by a land tri-wall. The first evidence of the site, it is a moat with a long sandstone causeway, length 250 meters, around 820 feet, wide 12 meters, around 39 feet. Crossing it and serving as a main access to the monument. The moat is around 200 meters, 656 feet, wide with a perimeter of 5.5 kilometers, around 3.4 miles. The west entrance begins with a step split into a raised sandstone terrace in the shape of a cross At the foot of the long causeway, giant stone lions on each side of the terrace guard the monument. Looking straight ahead, one can see at the end of the causeway the entry gate with 3 towers of varying heights and with collapsed upper portion. The central tower hides the full view of the 5 towers of the central group. A long cover values with square columns and a curved roof stand along the moat to the left and right of the entry tower. This is a majestic facade of Angkor Wat and a fine example of classical Khmer architecture. Helen Churchill Candy must have been standing on this terrace almost 70 years ago when she wrote, "Any architecture would thrill at the harmony of the facade, an unbroken stretch of riveted pillars leading from the far angles of the structure to the central opening, which is dominated by 3 imposing towers with broken summits. This facade originally had another row of pillars with a roof. Evidence of this remains in a series of round holes set in square base in front of the standing pillars.